Hi everyone, welcome to the visual guide for the Fist of the Father Normal. This is the first 8-man raid made available by patch 3.01 in Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward. This boss can be quite the oppressor, and you'll even need some laser-perfect positioning, but I'll do my best to minimize the difficulty. My name is Ms. Tech, and I'll be your raid guide. The trash on this floor is essentially a mini-boss encounter. Adds will spawn periodically, giving the mini-boss a damage up buff for each one alive. I'd imagine that eventually you'd be overrun, but players can essentially burn the mini-boss down while the off-tank picks up and holds the adds. They will all disappear once the mini-boss is killed. Up next, we fight the true boss of the floor, Oppressor. This big guy has a wide frontal cleave, and tanks should be sure to position him facing away from the raid. I would suggest tanking him in the south of the room to minimize movement required in the next phase. The boss will cast a RESIN bomb and PHOTON SPASER, ground AoEs that should be avoided as necessary. There's also a raid-wide hit called Gunnery pod that healers should keep an eye out for. A random player will be marked up with this target, and after a short time will take a few hits of HYDROTHERMAL missile. The affected player should move away from others, and healers should heal through this as necessary. Emergency deployment will then be cast, which will spawn 2 adds next to the oppressor. These adds will tether and fixate on their primary target, and upon death will drop a void zone that will afflict anything in it with minimum. All players should obviously avoid these as necessary. Proper positioning of where the void zones are dropped will be necessary in the later phase, so keep these in mind. At this point, a siren will go off and you'll notice a replica of the boss enter the room from the north. The second tank should be ready to pick this up as soon as possible, tanking it away from the original. If too close, the 2 bosses will tether, causing them to gain increased damage buffs. 2 laser beams will show up on the platform now, signifying 2 large nukes slowly making their way down to destroy your group. If left to explode, these do massive damage and put up a number of debuffs on each player. Getting hit by more than one of these nukes is probably a wipe. To deal with these, players must take and kill the spawn emergency deployment adds directly underneath each laser beam. This will cause the mini puddle to mini the nukes, turning them into nothing more than a bug spart. Shortly after these nukes hit the floor, the 2 bosses will fly up and try to crash down somewhere on the edge of the room, doing damage based on proximity. Have everyone move to the opposite end. Tanks should also pre-position here so that the adds aren't tethered for too long when they come back down. This phase will repeat until the boss is killed. As soon as one boss is down, the other will begin to cast self-destruct, wiping the raid if he is not killed before the cast ends. To avoid this potential catastrophe, players should split damage on these equally and kill them at roughly the same time. And there you have it, Alexander Floor 1 complete. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Up next, we head to Floor 2. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time.